What is up, and welcome in to the Easy Smoke and the GM podcast. I'm your host, Ezra McCann, and I'm joined, as always, by my outstanding co-host. He's a Chicago Public League legend, a Simeon Wolverine legend. He's a Grambling State Tiger legend. He played second base for the Tigers back in the day. He was all SWAC. He's Brandon Williams, a.k.a. Coach Smoke, and I got a bone to pick with you in a little bit about the Grambling State Tigers. And he's our NFL draft analyst, enthusiast. He lets you know what's going on in college football and who's going to be the top choices in the draft. He's none other than Glenn Morgan. He's our GM. Gentlemen, what's going on? How you guys doing?
What up?
Hey, what's going on, man? You know, don't every time you want, drop in, chime in, Madden commissioner, Super Bowl champion. I mean, every now and again, you just let people know.
You got to let us know how you doing. A lot, I know you won your league not too long ago, and then I guess you got started again. Or?
Yeah. Started again. Made it back to the Super Bowl, man. Made it back, man.
Oh, okay. Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Defending champion, conference champion.
How did the Super Bowl go?
So, man, let's talk about them Bears.
Wow, so that's the second in a row, then, huh? A loss.
Whoa! That's second in a row. I won the last Super Bowl. Thank you.
I thought you lost. I
lost, won, then lost.
Oh, okay.
But I've been, 3 in a row, man. 3 appearances in a row. I'm not quite like the Buffalo Bills. I'm kind of like the Miami Dolphins of the '70s. Win one, lose one, win one. Yeah, that kind of thing.
I apologize.
Yeah.
Hey, and Smoke, I showed you, but my 17 parlay looked real good on yesterday, and the only one that missed, Grambling State. All they had to do was just hold Virginia Tech. Just keep it within 18 and a half. That's all they had to do. That's it.
What did they lose by? What was the final?
They lost by 24.
Yeah. Why would you pick a school that's like,
I needed for the parlay to get some good money. I needed something to bring the odds up.
They've been playing
all right.
Basketball.
Yeah.
Got 2 Power 5 wins.
Yeah, they've been looking all right.
Okay. Did you talk to Smoke about this before you made the bet, or you just went on your own?
Well, he didn't talk to me before.
There you go.
You're right.
But it looked like a good bet, man.
Stay away from it.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. When it comes to Grambling stuff, you gotta talk to Smoke before you make your place.
I should have, but
it was payback.
Because who they beat? They beat.
We beat Colorado.
Yeah,
ironic, and we beat and Vanderbilt.
That's
really
right. They beat.
That's
Vanderbilt.
A good win.
Yeah. So I said Virginia Tech 18 and a half. Yeah, no doubt. Nah. Didn't work out.
Yeah,
so that's all right.
It was for reminding me when your Pirates beat us in 06. It was the get back.
Yeah, a picture came out. I think that's the last time we played you guys in football. I'm pretty sure.
17 years ago?
Yeah.
16 years ago?
Yeah. We beat them as usual.
Oh man.
In the MEAC SWAC challenge.
Yeah, you know what? Y'all both sound like a little petty inside you.
Hey, them Hampton Pirates don't play around. And we'll talk about the MEAC SWAC thing in a little bit. But let's start with the Bears. We're recording this on Sunday night, so we're not too removed from what I thought was a pretty good showing by the Bears against arguably the best team in the NFL.
Best record.
25-20. Lost to the Philadelphia Eagles. Before we get to Fields, I thought the defense, especially the secondary, played really well.
Secondary played very well.
Yeah.
And it's weird because the numbers kind of
the numbers
receivers. But if you watch the game, you see.
Yeah. I mean, if you looked at the box score, you say, okay, Jalen Hurts threw for 315 yards. Devontae Smith went for over 100. AJ Brown went for almost 200 yards receiving. But that's not really what happened in that game. The numbers can sometimes fudge those things. But I thought the defense overall played really well. We still need to get that pass rush going. And I think that's going to, get addressed once the offseason comes. The linebacker play was really good today. Even with Sanborn went out. I think right before maybe the beginning of the second half. But he looked like he was having a really good game until the point he got injured. He hurt his ankle, and then but the rest of the guys, Morrow had a really good game. Who came in for
I was gonna say for for a unit of no-name guys, they were all over the field making a lot of stops. Actually, the tackling, that's the thing that stuck out.
Joe Thomas. Joe Thomas came in.
They were hitting out there.
Yes.
And like wasn't no
missed tackles, really.
Jalen Hurts trying to hit the hole. Like he had the one where he guessed right.
Well, that was a missed assignment.
But,
I think it was Brisker came on the blitz.
Went that way.
Right.
Also.
They went into the same gap. He should have gone into the opposite A gap, and that's exactly where Hurts ran, and the middle of the field was wide open, and he scored a 20-something yard touchdown on that. But like I said, other than that, AJ Brown had the big catch on Joe, but it was but that talking about the long one
for a touchdoone
after
yeah.
But it was like,
did he score? No, he was down.
He didn't score.
Score. Yeah, Brisker caught him.
Got him.
But Jalen Johnson was on him, and it was just a beautifully thrown ball by Jalen Hurts and a great catch. Which as soon as I saw that, I was like, okay,
yeah.
If we could get a weapon anywhere like an AJ Brown, this is the blueprint of what Justin Fields can do.
Because Jalen Johnson was on him all game.
He was there, yeah.
Was like attached to him. It wasn't none of that he running just sky-free by himself. He contested every ball almost. Probably except for the slants a little, but he contested some of those. And then he went out late in the game with a rib, I think.
It looked like a rib, yeah.
And they went to AJ Brown on the 3rd and 5 with the slant to seal the game.
Right.
So
it's crazy because like you mentioned, if you just look at the statistics, you would think, okay, the Bears, they got lucky to stay in the game or whatever the case might be. If you just look at the statistics, because AJ Brown, that was a personal best, which I thought was crazy. Yards wise, I think he had 183 yards on the day.
181, I think.
181, okay, and that's a personal best for him as far as receiving yards go. But good Lord, they went to him and seemed ad nauseum.
Mm-hmm.
Like almost like they forgot about Devontae Smith in a while. Then they're like, oh wait, I still got Devontae Smith, and started peppering and going to him. But if you're watching the game, you're watching Jalen Johnson, you're like, man, dude, he's making it difficult out there for me. He was chirping.
Yeah, he was, definitely was.
And Stranger Brown was like, dude, look at the score. Look at my yard. Like, I scored a touchdown on you. It's like, yeah, but because if Jalen Johnson wasn't playing as well as he played, that could have been like 250, closer to 300 yards receiving with, more catches. It would look like one of those what's the brother that used to play for the Falcons? Julio Jones. It could look like a Julio Jones day where, you're getting double-digit receptions and almost 300 yards receiving. Jalen did a great job. And it's crazy to say that someone did a great job. It's kind of like Andre Iguodala did a great job against LeBron James in the finals, even though LeBron almost averaged like a triple-double. But like if you watch, you see you're like, no, actually he did a really good job, all things considered. And the fact that they picked off Jalen twice, the Bears forced turnovers. It was the Eagles score, but it was not easy. They were not scoring easy, and the Bears looked. It's like almost every week when the Bears have these games where they're almost about to win, or it looks like they're in a chance to win, some unit is not doing as well as it could do, and that unit is the one that you can point to as part of the failure. And today, to me, that unit primarily was an offensive line when it came to pass blocking. And to some degree, I'm going to look at the receivers for like not quite getting open quick enough.
But shit, we were
down.
Our top
Right.
Like no Mooney, no Claypool to start the game. Nikhil right before the game goes, he's out.
Yeah,
St. Brown gets hurt.
St. Brown the first play
drive of the game.
Yeah.
He caught the third down and then he's out.
Pass, and then that's it. Yeah.
Like, so you down 4 guys, whoever this Webster guy is that we
Who
went
was
to
he?
late. I'm like, man, he needs to get Bayless snaps.
Who is 83? That's what I want to know.
It's Willie Gaul, isn't it? Willie Gaul, right?
Well, not anymore. never heard of the guy, and he made some big catches there today. But Justin Fields, man, the dude is incredible.
That run that didn't go for a touchdown.
Oh my God.
That was a half an inch away from being that would have been right up there with Steve Young type run, to get a touchdown, where you just in comparable run to where you're like, how does he not get tackled, and how does he survive long enough to make it to the end zone? Man. That was incredible.
Man, did you hear Darius Slay? Ain't that his name? Is that his name?
What he said?
Yeah.
He say, man, the guy runs a 4.4 and he's big as ever. Like, he ain't easy to get down. Get him in open space.
Right.
He can make you miss. He like, hey man, look, it ain't like he run a 4.7 or 4.8. He runs a 4.4. Like, man, that run was crazy. It was crazy. And I mean, when he had time, he was okay. He missed a few throws. I'm still now, like a few in the past, them like wide receiver screens.
Mm-hmm.
At first, I used to be like, okay, Fields, you're not leading the guy up the field.
Right.
Like, you're throwing it a little behind him, or like it always looked like it might be a fumble.
Late. Mm-hmm.
Now today he was leading them up the field, but the receivers wasn't moving up the field to catch it and go. It was like they were just stopping there, and now they reaching. I'm like, what the hell? I'm like, so what? Who is wrong here? I'm like, because in the past, I'm like, he should be leading the guy up the field, and that's how he was throwing it today. But guys,
it should be
just right on him.
1 yard. Yeah, it should be a 1 yard pass right there. The reason you run that play is because, number one, it should be an automatic gain of yardage right there. 2, you don't want to go behind or even take a chance of it being
late,
a lateral,
on the same line, because you don't want the fumble.
Right.
That's a live ball. If somebody swats it down or whatever, that's a live football. So it should be a 1 yard pass. Yeah. So you are right about that.
I felt like Montgomery was our best receiver today.
Yeah. What'd he go? He had 3 catches for 38 yards. Pringle had 2 catches for 39 yards because he got the late touchdown.
It's like everybody forgot that this dude actually played on the NFL team.
Yeah.
I'm like, wait, did Justin cross the line of scrimmage? Because why was he just
I was
so
worried.
wide open?
I was worried about that.
I'm like, he was so wide open.
He's just such a weapon.
Cross the line of scrimmage, but yeah, he had them. I mean, it was clear they didn't fear any of our receivers.
No.
So they wanted to make sure that they made life as hell on him.
Right.
And he made them work.
So let me ask you this: when Justin looked like either he pulled a hamstring, it looked like a cramp right away, but when he was, pulling up lame like that, and actually even earlier he took a bit of a hit, were you thinking to yourselves, why is he playing?
That was number one. I was screaming, get him off the field now.
Yes.
So selfishly, I was like, no, this can't happen. Because I'm going to the game next week.
Oh.
And so there's no point in going if he's going to be
if he's not playing, right?
I'm about
you
to sit in this freezing
you don't want to
weather,
see you don't want to see Nathan Peterman?
Hell no.
And the Bears?
Not at all. But my first reaction, I thought it was a concussion at first because of how he got up and went back down. I'm like, oh shit. And then once he got up again and started, like straightening out his leg. I'm like, oh, I think that's a cramp. I'm like, but the commentator's like, did he pull something? Or I'm like, man, it don't.
Look
I'm like,
like
I don't think he pulled nothing. So when he went to the sideline and he was on, and they were stretching, I'm like, oh yeah, he definitely didn't pull nothing. They're trying to stretch out a cramp.
Right.
So I'm like, okay, good. Then he went to the locker room. I'm like, oh man, look, if he don't come back out, that probably mean he probably won't play next week. So I'll be gone at halftime if he don't play next week.
And I told Smoke, I figured he was okay when Eberflus came out on the field to check on him, and I guess Justin must have told him it's a cramp, and then all Eberflus did was just go down, and there was no like concern there,
right?
Like, he just walked away at that. Eberflus walked away at that point when Justin went down. I was like, okay, he must be all right, because if it was something serious, I feel like Eberflus would have been the first one there, since he was right there talking to him. So it was good to see him being stretched out on the sideline. It's like, okay, that's a cramp, and he was back out there on the next possession. But that brings the question. I know, Smoke, you going to the game next week?
Yeah, and I need him. No, I need him.
Need it? You need him?
It's more than just me going to the game. He's my fantasy quarterback too.
Glad to see there's no self-interest motivation here.
Man.
Look, I can't depend on Herbert, man. He too up and down, man. Fields since he's been my starter, every game he's played, it's been 25 plus points. Some 3 of them times it was 40. Like, so I need him, and I'm gonna be going against Josh Allen. That's what's crazy. In my matchup, my first round of playoffs, person I'm going against in fantasy has Josh Allen. So it's gonna be a good day. But yeah, go.
So what are we to think? I mean, look, as I was at the bowling alley today, guys, some people who are like, they like to tease the fact that people who are Bear fans, like, why do y'all Bears suck, and why y'all want to win? I'm like, look, dude, the Bears are winning by losing. Oh, y'all keep talking about next year. I'm like, dude, it's not just about next year. It's about going forward. So for people who either like to chide the Bears for not being a good team or being bad or whatever the case might be, what do we want the remaining part of this season? And clearly the easy answer, and I think the 3 of us all would agree, we don't want them to win another game.
No.
But with them playing, what are we still looking for, as we still want them to lose? But what do we still need to see as we're watching?
Today was the perfect example of what you want to see from the Bears the rest of the season. It was clear today that if we just had some talent, we beat the Eagles. It was clear. We had no turnovers on offense. Well, we did have one. Jones fumbled. We had that one turnover, but Justin pretty much played a clean game. The defense, like we said, has played well. We compete. That's the main thing. I want to see them compete, not going out there just laying an egg like we did when we played the Jets. Like, want these guys to compete. And we should walk away each week saying we got better at something. Mm-hmm. Because we know right now we just don't have the talent, man. Right. Like, we don't have the talent. And every team we're going to face the rest of the year is far better than us talent-wise. It's just a fact. Only team that might, like, Detroit is playing very well, but we can beat Detroit. I still believe we can. I'm not saying we will, but I still believe we can. I mean, we should have beat them when we played them. I mean, we should have beat a lot of people.
We should have won here. Right.
Yeah. But like, that's probably the closest in talent we are of any of our opponents, and we're not even close to them, really. Like, we're bad when it comes to talent, man. We're bad. And for us to be in a season where we've lost 7 one-score games, You know, we are the reverse of the Minnesota
Oh,
Vikings.
the Vikings, yeah.
We're the reverse.
I didn't realize it was
with
7.
far less talent. Far less talent, we're the reverse. Like, so that just shows that we actually go out there and compete.
Because they're what? The Vikings are 10-0 in one possession games, right?
This year?
Yeah.
I think
they lost one. They lost to Detroit.
Okay, 10-1.
One possession game.
Or 10-1 or 9-1.
Yeah, something like
that. Well, they
were
9-1 going into the Indianapolis game.
Indianapolis game.
Yeah.
So are you telling me? So as I'm listening to what you're saying, your assessment, both you guys, and I agree with you. So I'm
well, wait, I didn't say what I want.
My bad.
All I care about, like Smoke said, I want them to compete. You know, it doesn't have to be a win, but I want them to show that there's some fight, which they have for most of the games this season. And I need Justin to stay healthy. That's all that matters in these games, the rest of the remaining 3 games of this season. You know,
you don't need to see anything from any of the receivers because you don't care about the ones that we have.
I don't care about these guys that are on this roster right now. And the one I do care about was the one that we gave a 2nd round pick to, and he's not dressing. So
I wanted to see him and Harry. I do want to see.
Yes. I want to see some synergy between the two.
Yeah, I do.
I don't think he's gonna be here next year.
Harry?
Really?
Yeah. You can't trust it.
Well, maybe not, but Claypool.
That's likely.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Claypool is the one that I would love.
I mean, he's definitely priority number 1.
If he's not on the field, then what? You know,
I think he plays this week.
You think so?
Yeah. I mean, I guess it's like a semi-short week.
Well, he needs
so maybe precaution. He didn't dress.
We gave a 2nd round pick for this guy, and he's shown nothing so far.
Yeah, I mean,
can't argue. I mean, it's I hear that, and I guess sometimes I'm the resident apologist at times, but it's like the receiver position is not an easy position to play in of itself. And Claypool is still a young receiver. And this is only his 3rd year, I believe.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right. His 3rd year. And he's had 4 quarterbacks? Roethlisberger, Trubisky,
Rudolph. Yeah.
5 quarterbacks. Rudolph.
No, he didn't have. Well, okay.
I'm sure he played
this season
Rudolph sometime.
Pickett. And now Justin, and he's played, in 2 different systems with 2 different things are being asked for him. And then you come into a new team that's not good. And your role clearly is not a defined one at this point. I almost hear a lot of people say it's a wasted draft. I've heard a lot of people say it's a wasted move. And I'm like, I give it time, I guess is what I'm saying when it comes to that.
I agree.
He's going to be on the roster. He has to be. The fact that you gave a 2nd round pick says that he's going to be on the roster next year.
Right.
But man, show something right now.
Well, it may not happen until next year. I mean, in all actuality, it may not happen. I mean, it'd be different if he came at the beginning of the season and we're like, okay, dude, you ain't shown nothing all year. He came in mid-season. It's just on a bad team with no chemistry in the receiving position. I mean,
I didn't say I gave up on him. I just said I would love to see something from him, going forward right now. But if not, then I don't care about any other wide receiver. That's the only one that I would care about.
Komet.
I think he's fine.
Okay, now you one way or the other. It's just
yeah.
So between your comments, Bez and Smoke, what you were saying, it sounds to me like you're saying indirectly that the Bears have a pretty decent coaching staff.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And that we have not, for all intents and purposes, have not really been out coached. And we have a coaching staff that is making sound football, reasonable, cogent decisions.
For the most part, there was one game I think he did get out coached. What game was that? I'd have to look back. There was one where I remember maybe the Washington. Yeah, maybe that's what it was. The Washington game. But outside of that, you're right. Because remember the first game of the year, the 49ers game, everyone was like, "Oh my God, look at how competent this team looks."
Right. I was
compared to before.
Right. And I was getting ready to say, all that being said, because remember, because it's like this season seems like it's been like 3 seasons wrapped into one. We beat the 49ers.
Right.
We beat the Patriots in New England. And these are teams that are looking better down the stretch. You know, we played a Philadelphia Eagle team that everyone, for all intents and purposes, saying should be the representative for the NFC when it comes to the Super Bowl. And we held the Dolphin team. You know, we could have won that game. Yeah, we came away saying if our quarterback was on their team, they'd be better. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? That's how we came away with that. So it seems to me, are we on the right path is what I'm trying to get at. Are we headed in the right direction? And if you believe that, do we have, I won't say 100% faith, but do we feel more positive about what this general manager and coaching staff can do going forward? With everything we're playing for, apparently, is for next year. Obviously, you know, we're losing these games. Not that we're trying to lose, but the games are being lost, and the fans are like, okay, if we're losing, that means we have a high draft choice. And most people would agree, trade down. So if we do all those things, do we believe that this coaching staff, given the talent, and that the general manager giving some decisions and what seems to be somewhat sensible decisions made to some degree, do we believe that the combination of that front office can find the talent that we need to go forward?
I think we're definitely on the right track. I have no issues with the coaching staff, and I think that hopefully in the next 3 weeks, like I said, if they keep competing the way that they have been, you know, the last few weeks of the season, the coaching staff I'm fine with. You know, and then once the season ends, it's going to be okay. Ryan Poles, what can you do? You know, last year's draft, I think his top 2 choices have been excellent.
Fine.
Yeah. Excellent. No problem with Gordon and Brisker. Velus Jones.
So far it's a miss.
First offensive player taken. But he was a 3rd round pick. All right. So, you know, you can't expect him to be great. All right. So we're fine there. But now it's going to be on Poles and figuring out what to do with this high draft pick. Looks like we're going to get the 2nd pick in this draft. You know, figuring out whether it's take a player there or trading down at that point. And then they gotta you know, get some good free agents in here.
Right.
I want to be at a point where this is a playoff team come next year. And you know, the NFL gives you, you know, the path to do that. We saw that with Cincinnati. You know, what was it? 3 years ago, they won 2 games?
2 games. Yeah.
And they were in the Super Bowl last year and look like they're on that same path now, you know, with the big win against Tampa Bay today. So yeah, I'm all in with what this regime has done so far. So I you know, I'm with them. We'll see what happens this offseason.
What about you, Smoke? You're the resident conspiracy theorist.
I am definitely okay with the coaching staff. Like I've seen from day one till now, adjustments are being made, you know, on both sides of the ball. Like once we hit that groove when we played the Patriots, and best game we played all year as a complete team. Then we start making moves. We trade Quinn, we trade Roquan, and then the defense looked like it was going into a bad funk.
But you got to expect that, though.
Yeah.
Right. You gave away the 2 best players.
You did, and then we start to see the surgence of Jack Sandberg. Mm-hmm. Then last week, without Brisker and not last
Gordon.
week, but the week before last, but without Brisker and without Gordon, we see the secondary play very well.
Pretty well. Yeah.
Play pretty well versus Green Bay. It's like, and these are all unproven rookies or free agents. Like, You see, like, it's whatever they're doing, they're buying in. And then we saw it today. Like, those guys ball. And one of my boys, he said, man, the Bears secondary, they got swag. Like, they got character. And I'm like, that's the truth. Like, one thing, I'm a big person. You gotta have personality, man. And that's why I love Brisker. Like, to me, he brings personality. He's always talking. He always chirping. He always he trying to make a big hit. Like, I love that, and I think it's starting to carry effect. Like Jalen Johnson, I ain't never seen him be so animated like he was today.
Right.
I've never seen him be as animated as he was today. And that stuff brings out the best of you, man. And I really feel this coaching staff is getting the best out of these guys. I mean, look how often last season we used to talk about how these guys don't look like they want to play for the coaches.
Yeah.
Like, and we had far more talent than we have now. We have far more talent than what we have now. And these guys are going out there and they're competing. Like, yes, I'm the resident conspiracy theorist. We all know this. And I still think there's some colluding going on. But the players, what I see, the players are not in on this job. They're going out there and they're playing their tails off. And every so often, Gessia calls some bullshit play. Like, dude, why'd you call that right there? Or like some weird happened. But all in all, like I really feel like the losing is being controlled right now. as a conspiracy theorist.
I wonder if the players know that, hey, this is a team that is in transition, and
they know, but they
know this is going. Well, they know that this is going to be with the team with the Justin Fields on it, with a quarterback of that's special like him. That this is the team that has a possibility of going somewhere, and they want to be part of it. So
I think so.
For them to stick around, they know they got to show their ass right now, and that's hey, I'm all for that.
Just think about it. I mean, and we don't. I mean, I guess we could take the time to research each player individually and their history in the NFL, but think about it. For a lot of these guys, this might be the last chance to stay in the NFL.
Yeah.
And the last quote unquote best opportunity on a team that doesn't have a lot of guys in front of them. There's very few, there's some burgeoning superstars, but there's no, especially on defense, there's no superstar on defense. And outside of Justice, there's no superstar on the offense. And even at running back, we don't know that David Montgomery's coming back.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And there's a whole bunch of space out on the offensive line, and receiver is wide the F open, so. And even with Cole Kmet, you can still have a 12 personnel and have another tight end. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So it's not like they're everybody, pretty much from the punter to the quarterback, at least to the punter to the guy hiking to the quarterback, outside of the quarterback, everyone pretty much has a shot at, finding a home with this team. And like you said, Justin's special. And the realization that, man, dude, we just need a few. I want to be one of those guys that's on this team, but I know with a few extra people, and there's going to be a lot of changes. I get that. But man, dude, we're at the beginning of something that could be special. So yeah, I think those guys are well aware of that. And I'm wondering, is that why it doesn't seem like this coaching staff has lost the players? Like, what are these guys playing for? And at the end of the day, it's like, they playing for a chance to have it to be on a team, not this year. These guys are playing for next year too.
Yeah.
Clearly. And that linebacking crew, I was like, look, some of these guys want to come back next year. You can just tell by the way they were making those tackles today.
I was really impressed with the linebackers today, man.
The way they were meeting, like I say, outside of the one where we parted the Red Sea for them. But other than that, man, that
was one mistake,
and it was a mistake,
an aggressive mistake.
Yeah. Other than that, we were laying the hammer on Jalen Hurts. Like, at one point, I thought, because I don't know, I forget. I think it was Morrow that hit him.
Joe Thomas.
Yeah. That was Thomas. Yeah. and landed on his shoulder. Morrow caught him. They met right in the hole.
Yes, right in the hole. I like that one. Right.
Morrow, that's when Morrow caught him. But like, man, like they're balling. And one thing we're seeing, and I don't think we've seen this in Chicago sports. Probably the Cubs was probably the last team in recent memory. Man, we're looking like a desirable location.
Are we there?
People,
I don't know. We're there yet?
I don't know, but I think we're getting the attention.
We'll see
of players around the league. I feel that players are looking at Justin Fields, and it's like, I think I want to play with that brother. Like Darius Slay said, he was like, man, that's one tough dude. Like our line was hitting him. They were hitting him, and he getting right back up. Like, let's go right back at it again. Like this is opponent saying it's like I think players are going to want to be a part of this.
Here's what I think we're gonna find out once the free agent market comes, and you see if receivers are really interested in coming to Chicago.
Because what's our history? What's our history here?
Right.
Our history here. This is the place where receivers come to die. Remember when Moose Muhammad said that?
That's what I'm worried about. What the perception is around the league amongst receivers. That's the one thing that I'm worried about. But you're right. I mean, defenders every week. I mean, they are just, giving number one so much praise, and rightfully so. But yeah, we'll see what the league really thinks once free agency starts, and if there's a buzz around this team at that point. Last thing, kicker. Cairo Santos missed another extra point today. I think that's 5 on the season.
Didn't go for the one at 48. I get it
because I always think, he said no, I can't do it. I love the fact that he's honest, but I always think back to the Sanford. Remember, I think it was 2009. No, 2000. It would have been Nathan Vasher was still here when San Francisco kicked the 52-yard field goal, and Vasher caught it in the end zone and ran it back for the score. I always think about that when you talk about kickers' judgment and how what their distance is. I always think back to that. So it probably was a good decision for him to say, "Hey, I can't go from 48."
Not today.
Not yeah. But that is, 40. You should be able to, and I know the wind was strong today. An NFL kicker should be able to make that work. But Philly's kicker also they
missed extra point.
Yeah,
field goal.
He missed the field goal. He missed the field goal, but then they also decided to go for it on the 4th and 6 when they were in field goal. They were, supposedly in field goal range.
And that's the big thing. We were 4th and 27. We couldn't go for it.
Right.
So it was like,
but all these missed extra points. That's I'm a little concerned about that.
Yeah, I'm cutting them.
Yeah.
And talking about fantasy team. That's one.
Oh, okay. Man, it's kicker, man. It's sometimes I feel like it's like a middle relief pitcher. Sometimes middle relief pitchers he's like, man, dude, he's dominating. He's like, man, dude, sign him up. Then the next year it's like, this dude can't find the strike zone. What the hell? And then the year after that, he goes to a different team and he's like a killer. It's just like, oh, okay, maybe we got rid of him too soon. I don't know, but I will say this: there definitely needs to be a competition at that position going into to next season. And when I say competition, I mean like a real one. That's some penny ante bullshit one like the kind we've had in the past. They really need to have, and that needs to be something that. And this is one thing I'll say about Lovie Smith and his regime. They paid attention to every facet. We said 3 phases of the team or whatever it is. They paid attention to everything. Now they didn't always have the best offensive coordinators, and I think we didn't get the most out of our offense that we could have. But our special teams was year in and year out one of the most deadliest and most consistent special teams unit, and that stuff makes a difference, especially if you don't have a great offense, because field position plays a big part. and getting those points, getting those field goals. Like, look, man, I know nowadays everyone's go for it. I'm like, dude, 3 points is 3 points.
Yeah,
that's 4 less points I got.
Yeah.
You know, that's 3 less points I got to worry about, you know, per se. And just what you said today, as far as an example, not having the confidence or having the leg enough. I mean, look, we got Justin Tucker. He's kicking. He's making an attempt. You know, if we got some of these other, you know, well-known name kickers, they're going after it. You know what I'm saying? And it becomes a weapon because the other team knows, okay, you know, when they play the Baltimore Ravens, everybody knows, man, as soon as they get to the 40-yard line or between the 45 and 40, all right, they're in scoring range.
Automatic 3.
They're in scoring range. You know what I'm saying? It's like, and that you know, that can play to your benefit. So I hope going to next season that nothing, as much as we're focusing on offensive line and receiver and, you know, having defensive stars and getting somebody, you know, defensive line, whether it's a pass rusher or a 3 technique guy that can get up the field and blase Skippy. I hope we do not forget place kicker and somebody that we feel comfortable fielding the punt returns, because Bayless cost us a couple of games.
Yeah.
You know, that stuff, it hurts, man.
And
you know,
the fumble today was huge.
Yeah.
So you know, that's the stuff that winning teams, you know, don't have become an issue. I mean, I just think back when the 49ers, when Jim Harbaugh was coaching them, and they had that chance when Alex Smith was quarterbacking, they had a chance to go to the Super Bowl. And the Sox president, his son, had fumbled.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, clearly that cost. That cost. Look, man, he hates to put it all on one person.
Yeah, that was
cost.
The Giants beat the Patriots in 2011. Was that 2010?
2011. Yeah.
That cost them.
Yeah.
You know, and that's the kind of stuff, you know, hey, you know, back when we were under the Lovey regime, you know, Devin Hester, man, that's a weapon. That's a weapon. And it was even if they didn't kick to him, we had field position, and that helped our offense. That wasn't a great offense, but that field position helped.
Can you imagine if they didn't have Devin Hester?
We would have been, Lovey would have been gone a lot sooner, and would have been like a 500 team.
I mean, they were given the offense automatically the 40-yard line.
Yes,
was their starting point.
Yes,
that's huge.
Remember
still
back
didn't
in the day,
advantage of it all the time.
Right. Remember back when we had special teams. I mean, you know, so yeah, man. I hope this regime, and it seems like they seem to pay attention to detail or pay attention to the construct of, you know, whatever their scheme is going into each game, and then paying attention as the game is happening to make adjustments. I hope they pay that same kind of attention to detail when it comes to the draft and free agency and the acquisition of talent.
Well, we shall see. Hey, let's move on. The NFL this weekend. This was an exciting weekend for, well, I'll say sports in general. But the NFL, man, the Saturday games were outstanding.
Yeah.
They had the biggest comeback in NFL history happen. I gave up on the
Kirk
game.
Cousins having the biggest comeback in NFL history.
Yeah. 33-0 at the halftime. Colts lead the Vikings. I was like, you know, this game is over. I'm turning the channel.
Right.
And then next thing you know,
insane.
They're going to overtime. That game was nuts. The Buffalo game, and Miami.
Really,
which by the way, I was mad because in a separate bet I took the under in that game, thinking it was going to be a blizzard during the game, and the weather reports were wrong. The snow didn't come until like the end of the fourth quarter. I was like, you got to be kidding me. So it was a shootout. Needless to say, the under did not come in, but it was a great game, man. Really, really good football to watch. I'm
sensing a theme here. Sidebar. Maybe you should just stop betting, man. maybe this whole gambling thing ain't for you.
Well, I went 3-0 this week in our picks.
Anyway,
I'm just saying. I get something right. I got 6 out of 7 right in the parlay. Something was going right.
Yeah,
just that one.
So.
Just that one, man. Did you guys see the end of the New England Raiders game?
I saw the video.
No.
Oh, no. My goodness.
Insane.
Who won that game? New England, I'm sure.
Raiders.
Right?
No. The Raiders
Wait,
won. Raiders won.
The Raiders gave it up and then
Raiders
came back and
won.
won.
Wait.
Tie ball game.
Yeah, go ahead.
Time expires. Give the ball to Ramondre Stevenson. He's running. Got about what you say, about 20, 25 yards?
About 25 yards, yeah.
Boom, he laterals.
Mind you, the game is tied.
It's tie game. He laterals to who's the receiver?
Myers, I think.
Jacoby Myers.
Myers.
Boom. He's going backwards. He tries to throw the ball.
Oh no.
Lateral, throw the ball across field to Mac Jones. Chandler Jones picks it off.
Wow.
I mean, buries Mac Jones to the ground. And game on.
Wow.
Like what was on their mind?
I don't know. They didn't have faith that they can win overtime?
Man. Crazy.
Oh man, so yeah, that was a crazy finish in that game.
You had the Dallas game.
The Dallas game in
the
pick six.
Is that Prescott's fault?
No, Noah Brown. That's a drop.
Yeah, but you know, gonna eat that.
Now,
Prescott's gonna eat that.
Oh yeah. He's going to get killed tomorrow on Sports Talk Television.
Exactly.
He's going to get killed. It was crazy. It was a lot of comebacks. You had that comeback. They were up 27-10.
27-10.
So Dak does get some blame. Micah talking crazy.
Yeah, what about the defense?
You get a whole lot of blame.
Yeah.
You know, shoot. Yeah, it's gonna be crazy tomorrow.
The Chiefs and the Texans.
Chiefs went to overtime, which was gonna help Dallas after them being called frauds last week because it took Dallas to take a 98-yard drive to beat the Texans.
Right.
But then the Chiefs had to go to overtime. So it was gonna help Dallas this week, but then they lose.
Has Lovey saved his job?
They compete.
Lovey.
Who?
I'm saying.
Look, man.
The Texans for being 1-12.
Dude, look, man. We all know. Well, I shouldn't say we all know. I'll say this. I felt like I didn't want him to take the job. I'm like, dude, they're not going to do anything to help you. You're not set to succeed, and they're going to replace you, and then there's going to be new talent, and that person's going to get the benefit of your, the bumps and bruises that you're taking.
Culture you set.
Yeah, and I think because it just happened last year. I mean, last year the same thing happened. The Texans were competing last year. They were one of the better teams towards the end of the year last year. That coach who got fired did not deserve that. What happened to him? That team was bereft of talent. And I thought that they competed. And I thought not only that, but that coach had to deal with the whole Sean Watson swirl of everything going on. And Lovey was on that staff. Right. He was a defensive coordinator. So I think there's not a lot different per se, other than the head coach is Lovey as opposed to the guy, I can't remember his name, the guy that, was his predecessor at that position. But
David,
it was David something.
David
Cullen. Thank you. But no, I think, and because I don't want to go to the cultural thing, but I think I won't say he's set up to fail, but he wasn't set up to succeed. And they're going to set somebody else up to succeed, and they're going to be the beneficiary. So no, I don't think Lovey, for Lovey to have kept this job, I think Lovey would have to have been like 8-9.
With this team?
To keep the job. Yes, dude. They settled on him. He was like the fifth guy or whatever. He was like, well, we got him. He's already on staff. I mean, we could do a lot worse. I think that's how the dude went into taking him and hiring him. They were trying to get out. Nobody wanted that job, dude. Well, there were a lot of other people they could have hired. And even
I don't know what his contract status is, but I hope he's gonna get paid the next couple of years because
David Culley was getting paid.
With what this team did, I think he deserves it. Oh, Bob, real quick, did you guys see the story? I guess the NFL has told teams that they need to chill on this firing coaches.
They're
Chill on what?
On firing coaches.
Over the past few years, they're paying like 800 million out to coaches that aren't coaching.
Yeah.
Well, that's on the teams, right? That's not.
Yeah. So the teams.
Why is the NFL worried about that?
Because they're wasting money. So the NFL is saying teams need to stop, and be a little bit more patient with these coaching staffs.
They need to stop giving these coaches these 30-year deals.
But I still don't understand, why does the NFL care? It's the teams and the owners, and it's their money. It's not
it was an owners meeting.
It was an owners meeting, and they talked about that.
So they discussed it amongst the owners.
Right.
The owners did. I think they're saying it as the NFL as a whole.
Yeah.
It was the owners that had the meeting.
Yeah, a bunch of billionaires talking about the fact they're losing money. Shut the hell
up. I'm just saying.
That's Jerry telling them.
That goes to it though. Maybe Lovie Smith shouldn't lose his job.
Jerry and McCaskey and telling him how to. Jerry ain't firing no coach
in those meetings
early, and McCaskey ain't firing no coach early. That's what I'm saying. They telling them.
I guarantee you, all those meetings, McCaskey's never said a word in those meetings. I guarantee you.
Yeah, he just sits back there and absorbs.
They got the meeting minutes. They do. We can see those things.
Look, if you told me what's the family for Pittsburgh?
The Rooney's.
Rooney. You told me the Rooneys are saying something like that, and they're holding class. I'm okay. I'm paying attention. Anybody, or maybe even the Ravens. I'm like, okay, what you got to offer? Anybody else? Hey, go kick rocks, man. You're losing the money. A bunch of billionaires. Please. But right quick, I will say, and some of it's because I think they had talented teams, but this rookie class of head coaches, the ones that never been head coaches before, Minnesota, Miami, they're doing a pretty good job. I have to give them their flowers a little bit. They're doing a pretty good job. Now the retreads are struggling. The Raiders, Tampa Bay, these guys who supposedly have this, experience. Houston with Love, some of these guys that had this experience, they're not having the success that some of these young, the newer coaches. And yeah, I mean the Dolphins, they haven't really beat anybody, but they've looked better. And they've won game, and even in some of the losses, they've looked pretty competitive. In Minnesota,
they looked great in Buffalo last night.
Right, they really did. In Minnesota, I mean, all right, look, I may not have been a Kevin O'Connell fan. I'm like, dude, what did he ever do in Los Angeles? He was just holding, the coaches there as jockstrap. He didn't call any plays. But hey, 33-0. You make an adjustment at halftime. You come back, and you're 10-3, but you need to win this game. Because you got the lines breathing down your back, and you're trying to position yourself to have some type of home field in the playoffs. That said a lot to me about that team, what they think of their head coach, and just how they as a team are playing much better together than they did in December last year. Because you mentioned earlier the win-loss record in close games is a complete 180 from what it was last season.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. All right, let's move on. College football. The Celebration Bowl was held yesterday between Jackson State and North Carolina Central. And North Carolina Central came out and well, no surprise to me, but I guess to the rest of the world, shocked the world by beating Deion's Jackson State Tigers in overtime. Was it 40-34?
41-34.
41-34 was the final. I was a great, if you watched it, it was a great game. But I just wanted to say, man, no one talked about North Carolina Central all week, just like last year when South Carolina State was in that game against Jackson State. Everybody talked about Jackson State. It was all about Deion's leaving and what are they going to do? And nobody ever mentioned that there was another team playing in this game.
Right.
And they were 14-point dogs, North Carolina Central, which, by the way, I took that in my parlay. Yeah, I was one of the wins in my parlay.
Maybe you should stay away from the parlay. Just take the, straight up.
Yeah. I'm starting to think, well, you don't get no money, man. Just doing straight up, man.
That slow and steady wins the race, baby.
I guess. But yeah, North Carolina Central, man. and Smoke, you're about to get mad at me for saying this. I just think the MEAC plays a better brand of football than the SWAC.
I came to that conclusion.
That's what it is, man.
Wow.
I came to that conclusion. I mean, outside of the fact that the SWAC is 1-6 in Celebration Bowl history. We know the one win. We know the one team. But what goes unnoticed is of those 6 wins for the MEAC, 5 of those coaches either came from Granville or attended Granville.
Really?
So yes, the head coach for Central coached at Granville.
Trey Oliver, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. Okay.
So,
all right.
Oh no. He's an alum, from what I understand.
Oh, okay.
From what I hear, he's an alum. So it's only one. It's only one. And I mean, but I came to the conclusion that the MEAC is just better.
And nobody talks about the MEAC.
That's what I'm
really
saying.
Talks about
and I think the reason is the SWAC has this brand. They have
tradition.
Well, the MEAC has tradition. I think they have
more.
They have more
well known,
more school spirit, and knowledgeable fans in the SWAC.
Oh, I thought you said MEAC.
No, not the MEAC. No. I spent time in the MEAC, man. I know my school has zero school spirit. But yeah, no slight to my Hampton Pirates. It's just the way it is. You compare, you look at Jackson State, you look at Grambling, you look at Southern, Alabama A&M, Alcorn. Yeah, oh man, I guess tradition is the word. They have this tradition, but the MEAC plays smash mouth football, and right now that's beating what they have in the SWAC. So, like I said, it was no surprise to me that Central was ready, and they felt disrespected going into that game because everything was all about Deion Sanders. Right. Yeah. So it was,
it's ironic how they lost.
Yeah. Well, so the final drive, the overtime drive, 3rd and goal at the 3-yard line, and poor guy, what's his name?
Hagler or something like that. Hagler.
Tight end was wide open, man. Shadur floated him a nice pass, man, that should have been caught, and he dropped it.
Oh, he Jackie Smithed it. He did a Jackie Smith.
A note that should be prevalent. He's a Caucasian.
He is.
Oh wow.
So it was like, wow.
And he was heartbroken about it.
He was
yeah, you could tell he was, man. He really, man, he just felt bad, man.
Jackie Smith
to give it to him. Yeah.
It's like the announcer said, he's got to be the sickest man in the world right now.
What was that? The 70s Cowboys, right?
Yeah,
it was Cowboys Steelers, right?
Cowboys Steelers second time.
Yeah.
And it's Cowboys are making a comeback and Staubach scrambling. Hits Jackie Smith, who isn't the Hall of Fame, by the way. Hits Jackie Smith right in the numbers, and he fought the ball and lost the fight. and the announcer goes, "Oh, he's got to be the sickest man in the world right now." So it seems like this young man went through that same kind of
absolutely, man.
Yeah.
He had to be consoled after the game in the locker room. There's footage out there of Deion talking to him, after the game, and it's hard. I feel bad for the kid. And then the final play, man, North Carolina Central made a good play on that 4th down. And that was the ball game, man.
Now, mind you, it took back-to-back 4th down conversions in regulation for Jackson State,
right? And an extra timeout.
Oh yeah, when he spiked it, when he clocked it, yeah.
So in the fourth quarter, Shador, they complete a pass.
Driving down.
They come up, they spike the football, and then Shador walks to the sideline and takes his helmet off.
Like it's a timeout.
Refs say nothing. Mind you, Jackson State only has one timeout remaining. They said nothing about it. It's like a 2-minute timeout. Yet they don't give Jackson State a timeout. They don't take the timeout away. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah,
it's a commercial timeout. Y'all just
definitely on their side, you know.
That was weird.
Yeah.
But I will say Travis Hunter, kid is nice.
He's serious, man.
Kid is nice.
He's serious.
That move he made till they were down, 24-17. Jackson was. They were down 24-17. I said 4th down. Now they hadn't put him. He's not a true offensive guy. He comes in, play here, play there.
Sparingly, right?
Like Dion.
Like Dion.
Yeah. But they were at this point, they were struggling in the game. They were struggling. So put him in. First play they put him in, he draw like a double team, and the Shador missed the guy in the end zone. He threw it behind him. Shador missed him. So now it's 4th down. They move Hunter to the other side. Man, he hit that corner or whoever it was with that jab, wide open TD. 4th down, tied up 24-24. Then Central go down, they score 31-24. Or was it? Am I doing that right? I might be wrong.
Did we go to?
How did the final score was? So it might have been 27-20.
Or did they go to a second overtime? Wait a minute.
They went to one. It was 27-20. Jackson tied it up at 27.
That's right.
Then,
Yeah.
Then NC went down and made it 34-27. 4th down again after the Phantom timeout. 4th down, Shador just threw it up. Travis Hunter comes down with
rainbow
tie ball game. Send it to overtime. As time expires. Like that kid did his part, you know.
So he's part of that Louis that's going to Colorado.
I'm sure.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
My question though is, this is the second Celebration Bowl that Deion Sanders lost. Do you think the people of Colorado, they have any they're worried just a little bit that he may not be ready for coaching big time?
Some people, but not everybody. I think because they realize he's gonna bring what they need, and that's attention.
Yeah, I don't think they worry.
No,
they just won one game on the whole season.
Yeah, I think they think that they'll be like, we'll worry about him 3 years from now when we're good enough, and if he's not winning, then we can. But Deion will have done what we want him to do, and that's bring attention to our program and bring us, some talents, blase Skippy. So I don't think, like you just said, Smoke, at 1-11 now, they're just happy that somebody wants to coach for the team.
I mean, at the end of the day, he did show that he can dominate his conference. That's what you want first and foremost from him at Colorado. Right. You want that first. Now, win the conference, then, at this point, when the conference gets you in the playoff.
Right.
So, it's a little different. I don't think they tripping on that.
Well, I mean, think about it right quick. I'm sorry, I apologize for jumping in.
No, no worries.
Think about Jim Harbaugh coming from the pros to Michigan, and how Michigan, it's a different expectation level. I get it. But my point is that Harbaugh, just when it looks like, I don't know, now all of a sudden the last 2 years, Harbaugh looks like he's the guy. Like, man, like Michigan without Harbaugh is like, man, you might want to pony up because this dude is back-to-back, got you to the Final Four. So maybe a talent like Deion, they may be like, we'll take our bumps and bruises as he's learning to win at this level, competing-wise. By the time he's ready to really, and we're ready to really win, he will have, gone through some bumps and bruises. So I think they're thinking that the long game should play out, and And most importantly, Deion put them back on the map in terms of them being a destination spot for some talent to go.
True that. I will say I wanted to say that I really like the fact that that Coach Prime did stick around for the bowl game.
And I love this message to the world too.
Yeah.
Following like I tend to think, and I've been having several debates with people when it comes to him leaving and his decision and all this and that, but I actually think more can come from this now that he's gone than had he stayed.
Interesting. Explain that to the folks that are listening, and me too.
Because at the end of the day, if he's at Jackson State, that's his priority. Like, so for him to help other schools and other things of that nature, that's kind of too much to ask for him, being that he's competing against these guys. I can't send you players to compete against me. Like, you get what I'm saying? Like, now I feel he has more of a reach to the entire SWAC or entire HBCU culture now that he's outside of it.
Will he maintain that though?
I mean, we'll see. I mean, Jackson did hire who I felt they should have, in TC to follow, Deion pushed for TC to get hired, and I feel like that's going to create a pipeline between Jackson for sure and Colorado. But I also feel, with the portal, even though I think the portal is going to change very soon, especially if Deion turns something around very fast in Colorado. I'm sure we're going to see some adjustments to this portal. But I personally believe he's going to push kids that just aren't quite ready or good enough for the bigger conference to the different schools within the SWAC. I don't think he's going to, I'm sure Jackson will be probably high on his list, but I think he's also going to circulate to other schools. I think he's still going to use his business prowess, I would say, with his partner, like the people he got relationships with, to continue what they were doing for the conference. I just think his touch now can be bigger.
So sort of like, I think they said Bear Bryant used to do that.
Really?
Yeah, before, integration. He would see guys and look, I can't take you, but this guy will, and he would call Eddie Robinson at Grambling or what's the guy at Florida A&M, Jay Gaither at Florida A&M, and say, hey, I got somebody for you here in Alabama. You need to check them out, and send guys that way. So
didn't know that.
Yeah. So something like that.
Yeah, I mean,
so he's one of them. So he's one of them good racists. What you're telling me?
I don't know if he was good or not. I'm just saying that's what I can't answer that because I wasn't around. I wasn't around for that, but that's what they tell me. That's what they tell me. That's all I can say on that.
Life is like a box of chocolate. That's all you can say about that. Okay.
Hey, Jerry Jones could have been like Forrest Gump in that picture. You never know.
Man, that
you never know. He was Forrest Gump, After the picture was taken, he went and helped pick up some books. We don't know. We don't know.
We don't know.
Nah, we don't. Oh man. Hey, before we go, the Bulls are playing basketball right now.
No, they're not. No, if that's what you call basketball, then that's not what they play. They play something else.
Man, this team, I don't know if anyone watched tonight's game, but they got thrashed by the Minnesota Timberwolves, 150-126.
Without Karl Towns.
Yep, he's out.
Rudy Gobert.
He's out. But
and they gave up. Who scored? It's not like Minnesota is like the most.
Edwards had a game.
Yeah, he had to have because like they don't have like a lot of like just scorers. They're not known for their
D'Angelo Russell had a pretty good game tonight.
Well, apparently everybody did. Everybody had a
bring up
good
the stat
game.
line here.
150. Who didn't score? I think even the ball boy got a couple of shots from the bench.
Edwards had 37 tonight. D'Angelo Russell had 28. Austin Rivers had 14 off the bench.
Stop. Austin Rivers is killer. Like I said, the water boy had some baskets. You get it? Rivers, water boy. See what I did?
I got you. I see what you did there. Nathan Knight off the bench, 16 points.
Who?
Exactly. That guy.
Come on, man.
Nathan Knight.
Come on, man. Is that Brandon Knight's third cousin?
So yeah. Not a good look for this Bulls team.
All right, right quick, man. Who do we start pointing the finger or fingers at? Because there's something don't smell right in Denmark right now. It's either the head coach gets a contract extension and nobody knew about, and ever since then it seems like
why do they do that?
I do not know. I don't know. It's weird. And right now, this team's ability to play defense is seriously, is it the players aren't trying hard? Is it the schemes? Is it the combination of both? Do they know what's going on? What adjustments are being made throughout the game at halftime? It's just bad. And then offense. I mean, I know, and we've heard it ad infinitum, ad nauseum. We need a point guard. Look, Ball ain't coming back through them doors anytime soon. And even if he did, I don't think he's the reason why we lost by 150 or we gave up 150.
Lonzo Ball is not coming through that door.
He isn't.
All right. And
I don't know what point guard is going to just miraculously change, and all of a sudden we're going to become that team. Because there's a lot of else wrong with this team, and I mean, you keep hearing these guys that the players say, "Hey, we play for each other." We're here for each other. I know the heart of these guys in the room. I know all these platitudes, but I don't see it on the basketball court. So what's being lost in translation here?
Well, is the truth? Are they?
That's what the players. When you talk after the game, when you listen to the players in the locker room, that's what you hear. But on the court, they're not playing for each other.
They can't be when what's my man from Stevenson, Jalen Brunson, is just rolling past everybody and nobody's giving help.
Clowned us back-to-back games.
I mean that tells me they're not playing for each other.
Yeah, I mean. I'm looking at guys, it's too much hero ball at times. Like, dude, your 2 points is not going to beat the back-to-back 3-pointers we just gave up. That's 6-2. 6-4 at best.
One thing I saw somebody mention, and I'm like, that makes sense. Like, we got to look to move one of the DeRozan or Zach. And you can't have two just ball dominant guys who also can't defend.
Yeah.
Right. Well, yeah, that's the problem.
And Vooch can't defend either. So your top 3 players can't be bad defenders.
Yeah. I look at Boston Celtics, and I'm not saying the Bulls are the Boston Celtics, but the comparison I'm making, or just the parallel I'm making, is when you looked at Tatum and Brown, they struggled a lot last year early on, and even the year before, where people were saying, you got to get rid of one of them. They can't both stay on the team, blah, 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 blah. And then midway, around January or so, they figured it out last year, and they went on to go all the way to the finals. And now it looks like Boston is not going to be Boston unless those two guys are on the same team playing. They figured out how to play with each other. But I think you just said it. Those guys will play defense.
Yeah.
That makes a big difference.
Yeah, I just find it weird, like, that Donovan got an extension. Like, that's something that keeps replaying in my mind. Like we didn't finish last season good. Like we struggled.
Limped into the playoffs.
We limped into the playoffs. And then you didn't make many changes in the offseason.
None.
Just added a couple
You
of
added
older
Dragic
veterans.
Added old guys. Like I'm really starting to, Pat Wheel thing. You know, I'm really starting to like my patience like very thin when it comes to AK now. Like
yes.
What are you doing?
Yeah, I mean, P. Will's playing better.
Wait,
and
Glenn's gonna tell you that P. Will's playing better though.
That was
I think he is though. I think he is though.
But he is.
But I also feel that I believe the coach has not put P. Will in the best situations to succeed. And I feel the roster construction hasn't also. You have 2 one-on-one dominant guys with a third in Vooch. Like, how do you expect to get your number 4 pick involved when it don't look like we're running any type of offense? It looks like we're just giving them the ball and telling them to go do something.
Well, that's where you need a point guard though, which they don't have.
So why does the coach get an extension?
And
I don't understand that.
Because let's not forget, him point guard when he played ball at Providence back in his day as a ball player. And his whole thing as being a head coach, his success at OKC was his ability to get these guys to play well, and that was having a person having a person at the point guard position, but it just seemed like Billy Donovan quote unquote teams were always competing.
Maybe they knew. Maybe they knew that this was or last year's playoff appearance was the ceiling for this team.
So how does he get an extension? I don't.
Because he did his job. I'm not saying it's right. I'm just saying that had to be the thinking there.
Who's a defensive coach? It's like Billy part of that whole defensive, like does basketball break it down like that sometimes where this is my offensive coordinator, this is my defensive coordinator.
They do. I couldn't tell you. I can't tell you
they do.
Right, because whoever is the defensive quote unquote schemer for this team or whatever is that person should be let go immediately. Because and maybe defensive, maybe having a defensive coach on a basketball team is akin to having a hitting coach on baseball. He's only good if they're hitting. It's not because necessarily he's doing anything to help them. Like he cheers them on at the right time, or he says just the right thing enough to get them in there. But look at Tibbs' team. We know Tibbs, our former head coach, was known for having, being a really good defensive-minded coach. And you look at that New York Knicks team. I don't think that Knicks team is that much more, or even I think we're still maybe a tad bit more talented, or just as talented as the Knicks team. But they are tough-minded.
Yeah, we're soft.
Yes.
Again, no personality. Only thing we see is when DeRozan gets in his little hissy fits and get teed up. But we have no personality. We still ain't filed Grayson Allen hard yet.
Man, I'm so with you on that.
You're right.
Like, why we keep letting this dude go through the hole and don't pay the price at all?
Well, something has to be. They're 11 and 18 at this point. Something, Lonzo's not coming back because he's not even running right now. So he's not coming back anytime soon. What do they do? Because they can't just stay stagnant like this, unless they're tanking. Unless you play tank ball the rest of the year.
Really, like
that's not a guarantee in the NBA though.
Yeah, but who?
Because we're only tanking for a top 3 pick because if it falls 4 or beyond, we don't have that pick. So you can tank. You can tank, and then that ball don't fall right.
You're right. You're
so what was the purpose?
Yeah. And I don't know if there's no Ja Morant in this draft that I can see is coming out. So.
No, they got the top pick is supposed to be the guy.
I don't know how to say his name.
He's supposed to be like the next coming.
Of what?
He's like a 7-foot point guard.
Yeah, okay.
I'm just saying that's what the prize is.
Yeah.
That's what Utah was going for before Larry Markkinen got there and started to ball out.
And that's why you don't get rid of P. Will. He could be the next Larry Markkinen. For the third team he's finally plays for. He figures it out. I don't know, man. I think you blow it up, man. I think DeRozan has to be traded. There's going to be a team. I don't know who that team is that they might lose a player. It could be a team like the Grizzlies. Trade him to Memphis, and he could be the guy that helps put them over, the hump. Or a team like I don't know, Cleveland, not Cleveland, but I don't know, some team that needs a veteran scorer who come in and be a difference maker and make them that caliber team that puts them over the top. And then you probably trade Vooch for kind of the same reason. Some team needs somebody in the middle who can man the post, who can get you some inside scoring, late in games, or someone that gives you that option, inside outside option. And you can maybe, they're tradable assets. You can get something legitimately for them. I mean, granted, I don't know if you're trading with some winning teams, what they have to offer, but teams accrue picks in basketball like it's candy these days. So, you might
look at Oklahoma City.
Yeah, you might fall into a few nice, draft picks where you get 2-3 picks, for the next couple of years, and you're like Cleveland, where you're building, you've got some youth, and you become a team that has some sustainability. Because right now, man, I'm with you. It's not even Zach's getting paid the most, and you can't tell me it's Zach's team. You can't.
Maybe that's part of the reason. Zach's team was taken away from him.
Zach looks like he's disgruntled more times than not.
Yeah.
And it's like the shit he's not saying. It's like I'm not gonna go there. I'm not gonna go there. I'm not gonna go there. Somebody's gonna ask him at the wrong time the right question, and you're gonna get that answer that we all are like, it's something else going on here that we just don't see.
Hey, there was Smoke. You might like this one. There was a lot of chatter in the newsroom the other night, Friday night, about possibly trading for one Derrick Rose, who's basically just riding a bike for the New York Knicks right now. What you think about that?
Fun story.
Keep your enthusiasm in check, man. You're out of control.
I mean,
that's supposed to be your guy, man.
I mean, I got mad love for Derrick, mad love, but I mean, this ain't 2010. This ain't 2011. Like, this is an older guy. Like, what is he going to do different than what?
I don't think. Well, that's true, but I don't think you would bring him in to be the Derrick Rose of old. You basically bring him in to
distract how bad this season is.
Exactly.
Well, no, not that, but to to sort of get some guys in line, so to speak.
Who are you gonna get in line? Who are you gonna get in line?
Everybody.
How?
Directing.
Man, Derrick. Look, man, if you would tell me that Derrick's gonna come in and he's gonna mentor the sumo, okay. But everybody else, they like, look, dude, whatever, man. What you telling me? And Derrick's never been like the vocal leader type kind of personality anyway. And Derrick coming to Chicago is to distract from how crappy
Derrick
this
is
MVP.
None of them guys have won an MVP before.
I understand
that's
that.
Understandable, but
Derrick ain't that guy. He ain't that MVP guy who's telling him anything. He's a guy that's on duct tape and gumshoe, staying in the league. It's like, dude, you hanging in the league. That's nice, but I read about you.
I mean, Tristan Thompson was the only one on the roster that was a champion.
Right.
And he was barking at him last year.
And what did we eventually say? Like, Tristan needs to calm his ass down.
But at least he was barking at him, though.
But also that was his personality. But Derrick ain't even that type of guy.
Right. Dude, don't guys be like, hey, man, I checked you out on YouTube. You was great back in 2010.
This ain't even your character. Like, they gonna look at him like.
So is there anyone out there that can do that? That's available, realistically?
No. Realistically, no. Dude, I don't
know a player that the Bulls can, maybe before he started turning up and now he's hurt again, but AD, like, but even AD to me couldn't come in
But he's still that doesn't solve your point guard issue in order to,
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I don't know
things
if it's
running right.
I don't know if it's a player. You know who we should try to get?
Chris Paul.
Chris
Hell
Paul.
Well,
know
I'm saying, like, in terms of being that person that will get them to listen and control what's happening on the court, and them playing a little bit more.
We should have got him when we first got Billy.
Right.
Should have.
Right.
That's when we should have got him. But crazy. What I'm about to say, y'all might be like, "Oh man, what the hell Smooth talking about?" Brian need to talk to LA about Pat Bev. You want a motherfucker that's gonna come here barking?
That's too much yapping.
Yeah, that's too much barking. Yeah.
See,
I don't think that. Yeah.
Hey man, look,
I like Pat Bev, but
I do too.
You put that mug.
That might be the wrong person.
And we ain't gotta give up nobody to get him. Nobody valuable like that. Hey, what Pat Bev say, man? I don't miss the playoffs. I get to.
Well, he is this year.
Well, now the AD, it might be the truth because AD, they turned it around a bit. AD was on the tear. Now he out for at least a month. So let's see how that goes. But
yeah, I don't know, dude. It's
yeah.
And then again, you're talking about a player that's like 72 years old, man. Just who's in the league because he's scrappy. That's about it.
And we need to play Terry.
Why not at this point? Why not?
Play him.
What's that gonna do though?
Man, he at least brings fucking attitude. Like anytime
he's on the
floor, he brings attitude. What's the point of not playing him and we ain't shit?
Right. I mean, think about. I'm not saying he's Jimmy Butler, but what if he is something like Jimmy Butler in terms of, the more he plays, the better he gets. And then also, no one saw Jimmy Butler being the guy that he is now. Nobody saw that. Nobody.
Like the kid got personality. Put him on the floor.
Dude, why not? We're 11 and 18. Nobody's doing
Put him on the floor and let him foul out. Like, gotta do something, man.
It's crazy, man. But the Bulls went from being a good watch last year to back to being a hard watch again.
Yeah, I don't even watch them.
Yeah, tonight.
And I was going to every game I was going to games like crazy last year. Now my mom would try to give me tickets. I'd be like,
I'm good. Yeah, this not a good thing for this team. At Miami, at Atlanta, at New York this week. We can't get away from the Knicks, huh?
Nope.
Jeez.
All Knicks all the time.
Like maybe why we ain't like got it. How do we allow like a team like Atlanta get a second point guard to start with Trae Young?
I don't know.
Like, how didn't we try to get DeJounte Murray? How didn't we try to get?
Because we had ball.
They're at the luxury tax.
Yeah. Because you paying Zach and you got DeRozan and Vooch.
That's why you gotta make moves, man. You show the people that you'll take care of your own. You pay Zach.
Okay.
I don't think you necessarily look to move Zach right now. But DeRozan,
I don't think you can. Who would take Zach right now?
Like
the way he's playing.
The Lakers would. But I don't like what they have to offer. So
right.
But like I say you look to move DeRozan.
You have to. And Vooch.
And
you're not using them. You got Drummond on the team.
All Golden State.
He actually would fit well with how they play.
Try to get Kuminga and Wiseman. Get these young guys who seem to can't fit in with the coach over there.
Wiseman don't seem like he can get on the court though.
Well, he's in the G League right now.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
What I'm saying, they got high expectations. We don't. We are a G League team right now.
Oh man, yeah, okay. I can't even argue that. Man.
Even though they record ain't shit either, but they are defending champs. They got a level of expectations that that we ain't got.
And they can win at home better than we can. So there's that.
True that.
We can't win at home against the damn Knicks. The hell, these guys can't score a 3-point shot. One of the worst 3-point shooting teams in the NBA. Come here, they come out, they shoot damn near 45% from 3-point and drilling us. Come on, man. That's something's wrong, dude. Something's really wrong, and we're not getting a full story, man.
All right, hey fellas, let's move on to picks. And I brought up earlier in this show last week, I went 3-0.
Congratulations.
I think for the first time this season. I'm 13-20-3, bringing up the rear. I'm in last place. Smoke, you went 1-2 last week, and you are now 16-18-2. And Glenn, you went 1-2 as well, and you're 19-17, still above 500. That's
limping down the stretch.
That is outstanding. So since I'm still in last place, I guess I still have to go first. So,
yeah, I'm just gonna snipe off your pick since you're Mr. 3-0 now.
Here we go. Let's start. The Jacksonville Jaguars are basically in a pick 'em.
Pick 'em.
1 point, 1.5 if you go by some others. I'll go by 1 since we go by Caesars. 1 point favorites, or excuse me, 1 point dogs against the Jets. Yeah,
that's a hell of a game, actually, man. Like, well, I don't know if Mike White comes back. The offense looks better when White plays.
We'll discuss it.
So I'll take the Jags in that one at +1. Let's go New York with a win just now over Washington. I'm gonna take the Giants +4.
They got them. Oh, they don't show nothing though.
Against the Vikings.
Really? +4 against the mighty Vikings?
Yeah.
Wow.
And I should stay away from this one.
The Bears game.
I'm gonna take the Bears +8.5.
Yeah. At heart. The heart.
So which one you doing? Caesars?
Caesars, yeah.
No,
9.5.
That's what I'm about to say. It say 9.5.
9.5.
You're even happier. You're even more pumped.
I'll take that extra point. So I'll take the Jags, Giants, and Bears. Smoke, who you got?
I'm also going Bears +9.5. I'm gonna go Seattle +10 and Cincinnati -3.5.
Who do they play next week?
New England.
New England. All right. All right. So you got Bears, Seahawks, and Bengals. And GM, who you got?
I'm going to take the Bears as well because I figure even if we all lose, I don't lose the ground.
Every time all three of us do it, we get the win.
So I'm gonna go ahead with Bears. I am going to take the Bengals -3 on the road. Is it 3 or 3.5?
3.5.
3.5 against the Patriots. And maybe they'll do another toss back. Lateral.
The Bengals have looked good. Now, man, that was the most bonehead play in NFL history, probably.
And the Cowboys are favored at home. And they already lost the Eagles. Conventional wisdom to me says the Cowboys should win this game, even though they split with the Eagles. But I'm going to go with the Eagles because they're getting 1 point. So I'm going to take the Eagles on the road.
Eagles +1?
Yeah.
Wow.
That's 1.5.
I'm going to take the Eagles. I only see one for Caesars. Oh, no, wait, no, I'm looking at the wrong one. My bad.
Yeah, that's what I did.
1.5, my bad. Yes, thanks, Smoke. Yeah, I'll take that extra half point. I'll take the Eagles 1.5, and I'm going to take, like I said, the Bengals. Let me go back because I think I looked at the wrong one again. It's right 3.5 with the -3.5 against the Patriots, and then take the Bears +9.5 against the Bills.
Good luck to everybody. Thank you very much. Smoke, you going to the Bears Bills on Christmas Eve.
Yeah, do your job,
warm,
man. Yeah, do
dress
your job.
warm. It's gonna be cold.
Damn, I already know.
Thank you for listening to this week's edition of the Easy Smoke and the GM podcast. We greatly appreciate it. Your listens do not come lightly. Merry Christmas to everyone.
Happy holidays.
Holidays coming up. Happy holidays. First day of Hanukkah starts tomorrow, I believe. So yeah, happy holidays to everyone out there. You can catch our podcast at Apple Podcasts, Google, Stitcher, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Amazon, or wherever you find your favorite podcasts. You can also catch us at hp53productions.com. There you'll find a link to our podcast, as well as the Super Duper podcast hosted by Rob Griggs, and the Father Good podcast hosted by Marshall Givens and Kenny Stevenson. Yo, Glenn.
Yep.
Please take us out.
Hey, it's like we always say. We ain't saying we're right. We just don't think we're wrong.
We'll catch you next week. Merry Christmas.
Thank you.